BBC Radio Northampton, it's Sunday morning. Hello, I'm Kat. Welcome along to the show. Thank you very much for your company. Now, a Northamptonshire support group, Sends for Dad, is hosting its first #Dadstock gig on the 15th of July this year at the Charles Bradlaugh in Northampton. It's all part of a campaign to reach more dads who might need their support. And here to tell us a little bit about it this morning is Paul Meadows. Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I know on a Sunday morning everyone's a bit like, can I do it on the phone? I'm like, no, come in. It's much nicer to talk face to face.
Much better.
So listen, tell us all about, so it's Sends for Dad, isn't it?
Yes, Sends for Dad. Yeah, so...
Is that a group that you set up?
It is a group that I set up about 9 years ago. It's a support group for dads that have, or male carers that have a child, can be of any age, that has special educational needs or disability. Doesn't have to be a diagnosis or anything else, and we do events, we support each other, and all those sort of things. So yeah, we do a lot of things together, so to speak.
So for you and your family, it's your son, isn't it?
Yes, it is. My son Connor. Yes.
And how old is Connor now?
Connor's now 16. Yeah.
Is he? Wow.
yeah, growing up quickly as kids do.
They do, don't they? Particularly when they're teenagers. You suddenly go, oh, crikey, I've got a 35-year-old, but they're only 14.
I know. It does surprise you, doesn't it, how quickly it goes?
It really does. It's scary. So it's been running for 8 years, did you say?
Yes, it has, yeah.
And how big's the group now?
Well, we have about 30-odd dads that come regularly, and I think over the 8 years I've seen about... roughly up to 100 dads have come along, and it's pretty much a case of the dads come in a lot of the times when they need it. They may not want to admit it because it's hard for kind of dads to say, I just need to get away from things for a minute. We're just typical. We don't like to talk about our feelings. We don't like to say, that that we need to talk to someone because we don't want to be seen as being weak. That people think that we've got mental health problems and therefore, we're struggling. We have to be brave.
It's interesting that you say that, because this week just gone's been Men's Mental Health Week, and one of the stories we followed this week went to a building site, and we asked the men there about whether they work together day in, day out. Would they talk to each other about their feelings? They went, absolutely not, because that would be a sign of weakness, which it isn't.
Exactly.
But they still feel that that's the case, and you're saying exactly the same thing.
It is exactly the case. I mean, with dads that, a lot of families, not just dads, but with having a child with disabilities or special educational needs, it throws up a lot of additional stresses, a lot of battling and trying to find the services for your child to obviously give them the best in life. So there is that additional kind of pressure, stress or whatever that, and parents and families that have a child with SEND, which is special educational needs and disabilities, there's a higher percentage of relationships that break up, that do split, and a lot of the times it is due to that. I have had quite a few mums contact the group and say, look, if it wasn't for this group and allowing my partner to come along and do it, I don't know whether we'd be together, as a family. Yeah. And dads are quite often invisible in a lot of things. We kind of get pushed aside, especially by the services, because everyone likes to go straight to the mum. Yes, yeah, they do. And sometimes us dads feel left out. We also feel isolated because we find it hard to talk. It gives us that little bit extra of isolation. And we don't like to admit that we need to talk to someone because we're seeing that we should be the you should
be sorting the problems out in the situation and making it better for your family.
And be the stronger one, the supportive one and everything else. And if we say we've got to talk to someone, then we're going to let people down. We're going to let our partners down. We're going to let our child down because we're not coming across as being the stronger one.
So when you had the diagnosis with your son, did you find then that there was very little support for you, maybe more for your partner? Was that kind of the situation?
And I would say for families in general, the support is not there with regards. So when you first get that diagnosis, it's pretty much you're kind of flown into this
whole new world.
kind of whole new world.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff is based on what society expects of you. So you have all these kind of dreams that society has made you feel that you should have. And you kind of go through a state of mourning because, you think, oh, no, I'm not going to have that life.
Well, the old life is gone now, isn't it?
Now. Yeah. It's not until as you go through and experience this new world that actually you find things that you celebrate and that you come to appreciate more than parents that don't have a child with special needs and disabilities. The small things become such a big achievement, and you can actually look back and you can say, look, my child has gone through a lot of challenges in life, and they are now where they are here. And it doesn't mean that the battle keeps on stopping and wanting to get the services and the support all through their life, but it is one of those things. You do have those additional worries as a parent that if anything happens to you, what's going to happen to them, and
there's so much power in finding somebody who is in the same situation as you, somebody that you can relate to, and somebody who, those worries that you have in your mind, that you can speak them freely and know that somebody understands straight away. Because I couldn't understand straight away because I'm in a different situation to you, but finding somebody who is in the same situation, I suppose it helps you relax as well and go, every little worry that you have is genuine and qualified. It
is. Beforehand, you have a lot of friends that you've gone through school and everything else. Once you've had the diagnosis, you'll talk to some friends, other members of the family or whatever. And if they're not in that environment, all you get is, oh, I don't know how you do it. And it's kind of you talking to someone that has been in that environment that, that kind of gets it. You can, obviously share things and they'll go, yeah, I know, I've had that instance, and isn't it like this, and give tips to each other. When you're celebrating the small things, they get it. They literally get it. It's like, oh, my child has tried something new to eat. Oh,
amazing.
And, people that have got that haven't got a child with needs, I think, well, why are you celebrating that? It's like, you do not realise how brilliant it is and how rewarding as a parent it is for them to do that.
So do you think then that the group, because the group sounds like it's doing amazing things, but you want more people to be aware of you, so more dads can come along and just listen, not necessarily chat, just come along and listen? It's
trying to get dads so that they feel at ease to come. I've known some dads that haven't come to one of our social events. They've sat in the car park and they haven't been able to make that kind of move to go in. So they could have been there 2 or 3 times, like 2 or 3 months. Eventually, when they do, they think, oh, wow, why didn't I do this beforehand? And
it's scary.
It is scary. Going into a room of dads that you don't know.
And you're talking about feelings and emotions. I mean, it's big.
It's not that you have to go in and talk about feelings. That we've got such an environment where people can come in, they can play pool. At some of the social nights, we have events where we've had Nerf wars, we've had bowling.
I love it.
And we have like other social events where we have like a sensory play. So the children will go off, they'll sit in a sensory hut, they'll go and have a play, and then dads and their families can just sit, let them play, have a chat, have a coffee or a soft drink or whatever,
a bit of cake or something,
and just feel relaxed that they can do it. You don't have to talk about your children. You can talk about the football, you can talk about the weather or whatever. But if someone does want to talk about those things, they can do, and they feel comfortable in that environment. And it's just for dads to kind of feel you're not invisible. You are there. You do. It's okay. I hate the word support, because people think, well, if you go for support, that means you've got a problem.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it's not that you've got a problem.
No, it's not. Absolutely not the case.
And at the end of the day, this is about it's like a well-being. It's like going to the pub with your mates. You know, it's like going out for a walk with someone. Just it's just friends getting together, people that have a common thing to be able to talk if they want to, but if not, just have enjoy a bit of time to themselves.
So a natural extension of that then is Dadstock.
Yes, it is.
I see.
Yes.
Loving this idea. So explain what Dadstock is then for everyone who's listening.
So Dadstock is going to be an event at the Charles Bradlaugh, and there's going to be 4 local bands on, and with parents and families with children with special needs, they find it hard to kind of go out in the public to do what's seen as normal, what people class as normal. It is, it's hard to go to a gig. It's hard to go out in public because you have a fear of people are going to stare at you should certain behaviour start. But when you're in a room of people that have experience of that, you know that they're there to either support you or they're there to just like, okay, yeah, I'm used to that. And you feel more comfortable to be able to enjoy yourself, to be in an environment where you can just be yourself. Music as well is an absolute, well, obviously you're on radio, but music is such a common thing that we all have. We all love music, whatever it be. And it's a way of relaxing, and it's also good for your well-being.
Music's very powerful.
It is. I mean, I use music so much. If you're in a bad mood, a good mood, or whatever, you put on the right type of music, and it helps you. So we've been lucky that we've had 4 bands that are putting their time together. They kind of get the campaign. Obviously, a lot of them are dads themselves. So one of the bands, which is my band, The Days.
You're going to be performing as well?
I
didn't know this. Okay.
So we've done previous events. We've gone to events and done music, and we've had families come up to us before and said, look, we've hardly been able as a family to go and experience live music before. It's fantastic, what you do and all that.
So the gig then, so Dadstock, it's for the family. It's not just for the adults to come along and raise money. No. It's a family. No.
It's a family thing. The whole thing about the event, it's not to raise money.
Okay.
This is a campaign, so it's about raising the awareness of the dads, of Sends for Dads. To obviously encourage dads to come
along. Let people know you're here.
Let them know that they're here. They can come along to an event, and all those side of things. It's also to get across that we're not invisible. If you don't just need to go and talk to mum about our son, our daughter, come and talk to us as well. Don't leave us out. But also as well, it's regards to, there's a lot of things at the moment with regards to funding for mental health services and everything else, and a lot of those go to the bigger corporations, and it's more the grassroots community groups like ourselves where that funding doesn't exactly get a lot to, and we have a great impact in in our local areas to kind of get people involved, to socialise, and and it's about we're here, why aren't you investing in us? Because the services need that help, and we're actually a good help to the services before that person goes there. And by putting money into that at the start, you actually may mean you're spending less along the lines, because those people are not in as much as a emergency state, so to speak.
So for Dadstock, are you selling tickets?
Not selling tickets, totally free, turn up on the day.
So what's the venue and date again? Because I want everyone
so
to
it's
come
the
along.
Charles Bradlaugh on Saturday 15th of July from 7:30.
Does it just have to be Sends families, or can anyone come along?
No, anyone that wants to support us, support our campaign, come along, show your support to us. Come and listen to some of the bands. We've got some really good bands coming up. Obviously, I have to say about my own band.
Yours is the best,
obviously. It's going to be the best. We're fantastic. The best ones are... No, seriously, that we do have 3 other fantastic bands coming to play. So,
Awesome.
So, I mean, we've got the... they're all local bands as well, which is another thing. So we've got the Barretts, who are very well-known Northampton band that do their own music and everything else, and they're doing a very special acoustic set on the night, so not stuff that they usually do acoustic. Then we've got the Good Fridays. Again, they do all their own stuff. Fantastic group. Of listened to quite a few of their songs and they're playing, and they're absolutely brilliant. All these I'd come along and see anyway. And then I've got another band called the Henix. Now they do a lot of covers, but they also do their own stuff as well. So and then we have my band, which is the best, called The Days. And we do a lot of cover. Well, we do all cover songs really. So through a mixture of generations and music styles. So
it's going to be so much fun. Thank you very much for coming in and telling us about it.
No, thank you.
So this is going to be hopefully the first dad stock of many.
I hope so. I hope so. It's just getting.
Well, with all the bands, of course.
It's getting that message across and keeping that message going and making sure that dads know the support is there. That we do need, that. If there is that investment in what we provide and what we do, we're going to help so many dads. I'm only scratching the surface at the moment. There are so many families out there that I just can't get to.
So I just need to say to you one last time, just before you go, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Yes,
are you going to be spoiled?
I hope so.
High expectations.
Yeah, I'll see my son Connor and my daughter Kaylee later on. So hopefully I'll go and get spoiled. But if not, I'd like to wish all the dads out there that come along to the group happy Father's Day as well. And just to say, you're doing a fantastic job.
That's awesome. Paul, thank you very much. Happy Father's Day. It's really kind of you to come in on Father's Day as well. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you.